just either message me on Facebook Messenger or send me an email if there is a problem, but we should be okay. I've got my laptop connected to the internet, my Wi-Fi, so we've got double duty here. So that's far too much talking for me. So let's find whatever rest looks like for you to start. So maybe it's Shavasana, seated, modified Shavasana. Beautiful. And we're just going to start once again this week with a nice cleansing breath. Nice, slow, deep inhale through the nose, filling up your belly, your ribs, and your chest. And exhale, sighing it out, letting it go. One more time, if that serves you, a nice, slow inhale through the nose, filling up all the spaces. And really exhale it all out, really loud and audible. And just let everything go. And just feel yourself release onto your mat beneath you. Arriving now in your body. And starting to take your focus inward. Noticing your breath. Maybe when you breathe in, you can feel your chest expand in all directions. And maybe on your exhale, you release a little bit deeper into the ground beneath you. Imagine breathing in peace and exhaling anything that doesn't serve you. Inhaling kindness and compassion for yourself. And exhaling out all stress and tension. And just scanning your body and noticing if there's any parts of you that feel stuck when you breathe. And maybe just taking a few moments breathing into those spaces. And just staying with your breath here for a few more cycles of inhalations and exhalations. And if your mind has started to wander, calling it back with a breath. Really becoming aware this evening of any stories you might be telling yourself. Trying to bring out any negativity that stays within you. And maybe noticing if that's what's making you stuck. And in your next few breaths, you can start to find a little bit of movement if that serves you. You can wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe we rock our head nice and slow from side to side. We can start to expand our movement, maybe circling out our wrists and our ankles in both directions if that feels good. And then in our next breath, finding that big reach, stretch feet, nice and long arms up overhead. Inhaling here, reaching nice and long for our fingers all the way down to our toes. And exhale, releasing out of that. Beautiful. One more time. Inhale, reach nice and long. And exhale, letting it go. We're going to bend our knees, placing our feet on the mat. Reaching our arms up to the sky here, shoulders on the mat, palms facing each other. We're going to inhale our arms up overhead, thumbs pointing to the ground. And then exhale, bringing our hands alongside our body. Beautiful. Flowing through this a few times at your own perfect pace. Warming up the shoulder girdle here. Beautiful. 2 more times. Really trying to marry your movement with your breath. And if that means going a little bit slower than me, that's okay. Moving at your pace. Beautiful. When you finish that, we're going to reach our hands up to the sky again. We're going to cross our right arm over our left. We're going to reach our arms around, and we can hold the back of our shoulders here, giving ourselves a nice big hug. Beautiful. In our next breath, we're going to release out of that. We're going to find our bridge pose. So walking our feet into as close as feels comfortable for you. Hips and knees in alignment, really rooting in, finding our center. All 4 corners of our feet press firmly into the mat. And then as we exhale, really squeezing our glutes as we lift our hips up to the sky. Holding this for a couple of breaths. One more inhale here, and then as we exhale, slowly rolling down 1 vertebrae at a time. Beautiful. Moving our feet further away from our body, windshield washing that out. Arms can be in cactus or T, whatever feels good here. Once again, moving nice and slow with your breath. Maybe we stay looking straight ahead, or maybe we drop our head from side to side, the opposite direction of our knees. Beautiful. The next time our knees fall to the right, we're just going to hold them there for a breath or two. And again, we can look out over to the left if that feels good. Really releasing our low back here from our day. Inhaling back to center and then exhaling over to the left. Maybe we look out to the right. Beautiful. Inhaling back to center here. We're going to keep our feet on the mat. We're going to reach our arms up overhead again, and we're just going to warm up our core here. So again, this is almost going to be like what we did in one of our practices when we were together. We're going to really reach long for our fingertips as we reach our shoulders, our head, and our neck off the mat, reaching forward, almost like we're reaching towards our knees, but finding that big grapefruit in between our chin and our chest here. So we're really rounding with our core, belly button into spine, low back on the mat, holding this for a breath or two. And then as we exhale, slowly rolling that back down. Nice big inhale. And then as we exhale, slowly rounding up here. Just reaching forward with our fingertips, pulling our shoulder blades off the mat. Beautiful. And then lowering back down. Doing that 2 more times at your own perfect pace. Exhaling up, reaching forward. Finding that grapefruit or really large orange in between our chin and our chest. Beautiful. One more time. Really feeling a core engagement here. Maybe it's shaking a little bit, and that's okay. Beautiful. Exhale, lowering that back down. We can hug our knees into our chest here. We can find stillness. Maybe we rock side to side. Maybe even shoulder to shoulder, kidney to kidney, if that feels good. Sometimes I end up rolling a little too far. Beautiful. Coming back to center, we're going to reach our left leg out long, flexing the toes, just gentle towards the face, hugging that right knee in. On our next exhale, reaching that right leg out long, and we're going to hug the left knee in this time. Beautiful. Next breath, hugging the right knee in to meet the left, knees to chest for one more breath. And then as we exhale, lowering our feet to the mat, keeping our knees bent, reaching our right or our left arm over our head, rolling over onto our right or our left side body, pausing for a breath. And then as we exhale, pressing through our palm and making our way up into our tabletop. Beautiful. Remembering in tabletop pose, fingertips spread nice and wide, wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath our hips here. Spine nice and tall. Nice big inhale here. And then as we exhale, tailbone lifts, belly lowers, heart shining forward, cow. Exhale, rounding in, chin to chest, cat. Beautiful. Inhaling, cow. And exhaling for cat. And flowing through this a few times at your own perfect pace. Maybe opening up the movement, maybe swirling it out. One more time through. Beautiful. Coming back to center. On our next exhale, we're going to reach this right arm to the sky, opening to the right. And then as we exhale, we're just going to gently thread it through, not flowing all the way to the mat, just reaching those right fingertips out to the left. And then exhale, rising up. And then reaching that arm through, really twisting out here. One more time, reaching up. And this time threading that arm all the way through, lowering down so that right side of the body is on the mat, maybe the right ear and the right cheek, left arm can be forward, or we can reach it around the low back towards the right hip in a half bind, or maybe it just stays right beside your face. Once again, breathing into any spaces that feel stuck for you. And then in our next few breaths, bringing that left hand towards the face, making our way back up into tabletop. And maybe we find a little bit of movement here, maybe rock our hips side to side. Beautiful. And finding that on the other side. So spine nice and tall to start as we exhale, reaching that left arm up to the sky. And spreading it through, reaching those fingers long. Inhaling up. Exhale, reaching through. Beautiful. One more time, and this time reaching that left arm through all the way, lowering the left shoulder and the left ear on the mat, maybe reaching that right arm forward or around the low back or beside our face, whatever feels better for you. And then in our next breath, right hand beside our face, pressing back up into our tabletop. And again, maybe we find a little bit of movement here. Beautiful. On our next breath, reaching our right foot to the back of the mat. Maybe our toes stay on the mat. Maybe we lift that foot off the mat. And then as we exhale, rounding in, chin to or knee to our chest. Inhaling out. Exhale, rounding in. Inhaling back. Last time, rounding in. And then bringing that right foot in between our hands, hand to heel if we get stuck. Rising up into our low lunge. Maybe we walk that right foot forward a little bit. Beautiful. Exhaling our hands to heart center. Inhale, create a little bit of length, and exhale, twisting to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, planting our hands. Right foot meets left. Find our tabletop. Bringing our knees to the edge of the mat. Big toes touch, sitting back on our heels. Walking our hands forward. Really melting ourselves down to the mat here. Finding our child's pose. Once again, finding that surrender in our child's pose, letting our hips open up. Maybe we rock our head side to side. Maybe we rock at our hips, whatever feels good. Beautiful. Finding stillness just for a breath or two. Really breathing into the back body here. And then in our next breath, looking forward, pressing into our palms, making our way back to our tabletop. As we exhale, reaching that left leg to the back of the mat, maybe we lift our toes off the mat. And then rounding that knee towards our chest. Beautiful, reaching back up, rounding in. Last time through, really rounding in before we bring that foot in between our hands and rising up when it's available. Beautiful, hands to heart center. Inhale, create length. Exhale, twisting to the left. Inhaling back to center. Exhale, planting our hands. Left knee meets right, finding that tabletop. Beautiful, spreading our fingers nice and wide. Maybe walk our hands a couple inches forward. We're going to tuck our toes, lift our hips up and back, downward facing dog. Again, finding any movement you need here to settle in. Pedaling it out, rocking our hips side to side. Making sure our spine is nice and tall here. We're melting our chest towards our thighs. Beautiful, finding stillness just for a breath or two. And then as we exhale, bending our knees, walking our feet to the top of the mat, finding that forward fold. Really strong and rooted here. Holding this for a few breaths, maybe rocking side to side, maybe holding on the opposite elbows. Beautiful. We're going to inhale halfway lift, flat back, hands on shins or thighs. Exhale, bending our knees forward, fold, rooting down as we rise up to the sky. And exhaling, mountain pose. Beautiful, finding a few sun breaths here. Inhaling up to the sky, nice and slow. Exhaling down through heart center. One more time, inhaling up nice and slow. Really gathering in all this beautiful energy and pulling it down to our heart center here. Beautiful, we're gonna inhale up to the sky. Hands down through heart center as we lower into our imaginary chair. Belly button into spine here. Core is nice and strong and engaged. Maybe we press our palms together a little bit, creating some dynamic tension here. And then exhale, folding forward. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, planting our hands, left foot to the back of the mat. Maybe we lower that knee, rising up, low lunge to start. Exhale, folding forward, planting our hands, right knee meets left, finding child's pose for a breath. Inhale, floating forward like a wave to our kneeling plank. And then as we exhale, elbows into ribs, lowering all the way down. Beautiful. Rooting in here, rolling our shoulders back, squeezing our elbows together, inhaling up, baby cobra or cobra. Exhale, lower. Pressing up and back, finding our child's pose. Inhaling forward to our tabletop. We're going to tuck our toes, lift our hips up and back, downward facing dog. Bending our knees, walking our feet to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, rooting down, rising up to the sky. Exhaling our head down through heart center, lowering into that chair. Pressing our palms together here. Exhale, folding forward. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, planting our hands, reaching the other foot to the back of the mat this time, lowering that knee, rising up. Exhale, folding forward, planting our hands, knees meeting at the back, finding a child's pose. Inhaling forward like a wave to kneeling plank, shoulders over wrists, elbows into ribs, lowering all the way down. Inhaling up, baby cobra or cobra. Exhale, lower. Pressing up and back, child's pose. Inhaling forward to our tabletop, tucking our toes, lifting our hips up and back, downward facing dog. Bending our knees, walking our feet to the top of the mat, finding that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, rooting down, rising up to the sky. Exhaling our hands down through heart center as we lower into that imaginary chair. Exhale, folding forward. Halfway. Exhale, fold, planting our hands left foot to the back of the mat this time, rising up into our high crescent lunge or low lunge if that's available. Beautiful. Exhale, hinging forward, planting our hands, right foot meets left, downward facing dog, child's pose. Inhaling, floating forward like a wave to plank or kneeling plank, lowering all the way to the mat or halfway, upward facing dog or cobra. Back to downward facing dog or child's pose. Bending our knees, walking our feet to the top of the mat, forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, rooting down, rising up to the sky. Exhaling down to heart center, lowering into that chair. Folding forward. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, planting our hands right foot to the back of the mat this time, rising up, crescent lunge. Exhale, folding forward, planting our hands, left foot meets right, downward facing dog or child's pose. Inhale, floating forward like a wave to plank or kneeling plank, lowering halfway or all the way to the mat, upward facing dog or cobra. Back to downward facing dog or child's pose. Bending our knees, walking our feet to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, rooting down, rising up to the sky. And exhaling. Mountain. Beautiful. Finding mountain pose for a breath or two here. Be grabbing a sip of water. Beautiful. Maybe we roll our shoulders back a couple of times, wiggling any of that energy out. Beautiful, strong and rooted in our mountain pose here for a breath. We're going to inhale our arms up to the sky. And then we're going to interlace all our fingers except the index and the thumb, reaching our arms up to the sky. Inhale, creating a bit of length. Exhale, tilting to the right. Rooting through that left foot. Inhaling up to the sky, creating length, and then tilting to the left. Beautiful. Coming back to center and finding our mountain pose. We're going to inhale our arms up to the sky. And then as we exhale, lowering down, hands to our center, finding that chair pose. Maybe we heel to our feet in a little bit more, but whatever is comfortable for you. And then on our exhale, we're going to twist to the left, maybe our right hand outside the left knee, left hand on our low back. Beautiful. Inhaling back to center. Exhale, folding forward. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We're going to plant our hands and we're going to step our left foot to the back of the mat. Finding our runner's lunge here. And we're going to heel toe out this right foot. So it's on the opposite side as our right hand. Maybe we heel toe it all the way over to the side or the edge of the mat. And our left hand is going to open up a little bit more. We can lower this left knee if that's better for us as well. And we're going to find almost the same movement as we did in the start. So again, knee can be lifted or lowered. We're going to inhale this right arm up to the sky. And then as we exhale, we're going to thread it through behind the left hand. Inhaling, opening up. Again, that left knee can be on the mat. Exhale, nice and slow, threading it through, really reaching long through our fingertips. One more time, inhaling up, really reaching those fingertips to the sky, opening up our hips. And exhale, twisting that out. Beautiful. We're going to inhale up to the sky for a breath. And then as we exhale, we're going to plant that right hand. Maybe walking our hands in a little bit here, bringing that right foot to meet the left, finding downward facing dog. Maybe we pedal this out a little bit here. And then on our next breath, we're going to inhale our left leg to the sky this time. As we round in, bringing our knee towards our chest, bringing that foot in between our hands, finding runner's lunge to start. And then we're going to bring that left hand inside the left foot, heel toe of that left foot, maybe all the way to the edge of the mat. Right hand out a little bit wider here. We can also lower that right knee or keep it lifted. And then as we inhale, reaching up to the sky, exhale, twisting, reaching that left hand. Inhaling. Exhale, twist again. That right knee can lower at any time. Inhaling up one more time. Exhale, reaching through. Beautiful. We're going to reach up to the sky. And then as we exhale, planting that left hand, we're going to heel to the left foot in this time in between our hands. Bending the right knee, right foot meets left, forward fold. Maybe heel toeing in our feet, big toes touch. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold, rooting down as we rise up to the sky. Exhaling, hands down through heart center as we lower into that chair. Inhale, create a little bit of length. Exhale, twisting to the right. Maybe our right hand on our low back, left hand outside the right knee. Beautiful. Inhaling back to center. Exhale, folding forward. Maybe heel toeing out a little bit here. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, planting our hands, stepping back to downward facing dog. Maybe we find child's pose. Beautiful. We're going to find downward facing dog just for a breath or two. Maybe we walk our hands a little bit closer to our feet.
We're gonna reach our right hand outside our left hand outside the right ankle here, opening up a little bit to the right. Inhaling that left hand forward and then reaching the right hand towards the left ankle. Again, it doesn't have to reach. Inhaling forward. Beautiful. Finding downward facing dog for our breath. We're going to inhale our right leg to the sky. Exhale, rounding in as we bring that knee towards our chest, reaching that right foot through high on the ball mound to that left foot, rising up, finding our crescent lunge. We're going to inhale our arms forward, palms facing together. Nice big breath to create space. And as we exhale, twisting open to the left. Inhaling back to center. Opening up to the right. Beautiful. Back to center. 2 more times on each side in your own perfect pace, moving with your breath. And on each side. Beautiful. Coming back to center. Maybe we reach our arms up to the sky. Maybe they just go to heart center. Inhaling our hands to our heart center. Exhale, pivoting that left foot. Opening up. Warrior 2. Right palm reaches up a little, reach forward. Exalt our warrior here. Inhaling back. Warrior 2, straightening that right leg, really kicking at our left hip as we topple to this side. Triangle. Lunging into that front leg, finding our warrior 2. We're going to cartwheel our arms, frame the front foot, pivot the left foot, right foot meets left. Downward facing dog. Beautiful. Exhaling the left leg to the sky this time, really rounding a knee towards our chest as we bring that foot in between our hands. Rising up. Crescent lunge or lunge. Inhaling our arms forward, palms facing together. Really inhale, create a lot of length in our spine as we exhale, opening to the right. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling to the left. Beautiful. Back to center. Opening up to the right. Hello. Beautiful. One more time on each side here. Inhaling back to center. Maybe we reach our arms up for a breath. Hands down to heart center, pivoting that right foot, opening up into warrior 2. Left palm up, reach forward, exalt our warrior here. Inhaling back, warrior 2. Straightening that left leg, kicking out the right hip, toppling into our triangle pose. Really reaching up to that sky with our fingertips. Exhale, lunging into our warrior 2. Cartwheeling our arms, framing the front foot, pivoting the right, bending the right knee, right foot meets left, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, rooting down, rising up to the sky. And exhaling. Mountain pose. Beautiful. We're going to reach this left foot back, finding our wide-legged hold here. So toes pointing the long edge of the mat. Slight micro bend in our legs here. Inhale to create length to start. And then as we exhale, hinging at our hips, reaching our hands to the mat or to the floor. And then if it feels okay, walking our hands into the midline, crown of the head towards the mat. We could bend our knees as well. Really releasing here again. Breathing into any spaces that feel stuck. Beautiful. We're going to inhale, find our halfway lift. Maybe fingertips on the mat. Again, our knees could be bent. And we're just going to gently walk our hands over to the right without moving our feet, just to wherever is comfortable for you. Please stretching out the back of the right leg here. Beautiful. Walking our hands back through heart center, and then just like a little semicircle, walking our hands over to the left, just wherever feels good. Beautiful. Walking our hands back through center. We're going to pivot our feet on a 45-degree angle, both sides, bending our knees, and we're going to rise up into our goddess squat. Beautiful. We can move our feet around wherever feels good. Knees are over our ankles. We're going to stay low in our goddess squat to start. So we're going to inhale our arms up to the sky, nice and slow while we're still lowered. And exhale down through heart center. Beautiful. 2 more times, nice and slow, creating some heat in our legs here. One more time, nice and slow. Exhaling down through heart center. We're going to place our hands just on the tops of our thighs. Spine is nice and tall here. And then as we exhale, we're going to tilt that left shoulder towards the right knee. Inhaling back to center. And then bending that right shoulder towards the left knee. Back to center 2 more times here, really twisting out again. Back to center 1 more time to the left. Beautiful. Back to center, we're going to straighten our legs. We can heel toe that in. We'll then make our way to the top of the mat, find our mountain pose. Maybe if we want a sip of water. Beautiful. Finding our mountain pose here. We're going to inhale our arms up to the sky. Exhale, swan dive. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, reach, planting our hands, reaching the left foot back on a 45-degree angle, really strong and rooted in our feet as we rise up into our warrior one. Beautiful. Exhale, hinging forward. We're going to plant our hands, pivoting that left foot, right foot meets left, downward facing dog. Inhaling, floating forward like a wave to plank, or maybe kneeling plank. Lowering halfway or all the way to the mat. Upward facing dog or cobra. Beautiful. Making our way back to downward facing dog. Bending our knees, walking our feet to the top of the mat. Finding that forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, rooting down, rising up to the sky. Finding mountain pose. Inhaling up. Exhale, swan dive. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, planting our hands, right foot to the back of the mat, this time on a 45-degree angle, really strong, rising up, warrior one. Beautiful. Exhale, folding forward, planting our hands, left foot meets right, downward facing dog. Maybe you stay here, maybe you find one final flow, inhaling, floating forward like a wave to plank or kneeling plank. Lowering halfway or all the way to the mat, upward facing dog or cobra. Back to downward facing dog. Beautiful. And in our next breath, we're going to lower our knees to the mat, untuck our toes, sitting back on our heels and finding a child's pose for a breath or two here. Finding your breath again. Maybe your knees are closed or maybe a little bit wider apart. On our next exhale, we're going to walk our hands slightly over to the left as we root that right hip towards the right heel. Beautiful. Walking our hands back through center and over to the left. Opening up the left side body here. Beautiful. Walking back through center. Pressing into our palms. Making our way to tabletop. Tucking our toes, lifting our hips. Up and back. Downward facing dog. Bending our knees, walking our feet to the top of the mat, finding that forward fold here. Really letting our head be heavy. And then as we exhale, you can rise up or we can slowly rise up one vertebra at a time, whatever your body feels like it needs here. Shoulders back and down last. Beautiful. We're going to find eagle pose, which is a fantastic detox twisty pose. If eagle doesn't feel good for you, you can just find tree. If that's better for you. We're going to start in mountain pose. We're going to root into our right foot this time. We're going to lower just into a baby chair. And then we're going to bring the left foot or the left leg over the right here. Maybe we can tuck those left toes behind the right. Almost place behind the right shin, maybe not. Arms out to either side. And then we're going to bring that right arm below the left. Maybe our palms touch. Maybe they don't. Maybe we hold on to opposite elbows. In whichever variation we're in with our arms, making sure our elbows are in line with our shoulders, pulling our elbows away from the body. Really stretching out the back here. Holding for 2 more breaths. Cycles. And then as we exhale, rising up, twisting out of that, you can shake that in. And then finding that on the other side. So starting in mountain pose, lowering that little baby chair, rooting into the left foot this time, right thigh over the left. Arms out to either side. This time, left arm underneath the right. Again, palms can touch or we can hold on to opposite elbows. Elbows in line with the shoulders. Pulling the elbows away from our body. So it's almost like we're pulling our shoulder blades away from the spine here while our spine is still nice and tall. Opening up the back of the body. One more breath. And as we exhale, rising up out of that. Again, we can shake that out. Always come to say hello. Then we're going to make our way to the top of the mat. Inhaling nice and slow up to the sky. Exhale, swan dive forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, planting our hands, stepping our feet back to our tabletop. And then making our way into seated here. We're going to find butterfly to start. So soles to touch, knees to either side. Again, wiggling that out to wherever is comfortable. Side is nice and tall. Maybe this is enough today. We'd like a little bit more, hinging at our hips. Rounding it if it feels okay. Or maybe keeping that spine straight. Opening up our hips and our low back here. Just holding this for a few more breaths. And on our next exhale, rising up. We can close our legs up like a book. Maybe we reach our hands behind us here and we can windshield washer this out side to side. Opening in just a bit of a different direction here. Beautiful. Coming back to center, we're going to bend our knees, rolling down onto our backs here. Holding one leg in and then the other, knees to chest. Yeah, we can find stillness or maybe a little bit of movement here. Coming back to center, letting our feet dangle, hands on our knees, drawing those circles in the ceiling here, in whichever direction you'd like to start. And then changing the direction if that feels okay. Beautiful. Coming back to center, we're going to find a happy baby or a half happy baby. So we're going to pull our knees towards our armpits here. Tailbone still on the mat. And maybe this is enough for you. Like a little bit more reaching through the inside of the legs to the outside of the soles of the feet, pressing our hands into heels, feet into hands. Tailbone still rooted on the mat, so we're not rounding up. And we can find a little bit of movement, maybe rock your baby. Beautiful. Bending our knees, bringing our heels towards our bum, closing up our legs. And releasing our feet to the mat, arms in cactus or T. And on our exhale, dropping our knees to the left, right shoulder rooted. Maybe we place our left hand on top of the right thigh. Maybe we even straighten that right leg if it feels okay. Looking straight ahead or out to the right. Tuning back into your breath. Once again, noticing any stories you might be telling yourself. Acknowledging those thoughts, just letting them pass on by like leaves in a river. In our next few breaths, making our way back to center, bringing our knees back to the mat, or feet back to the mat, knees back to center. And then exhaling our legs over to the right. Again, we can place that right hand on the top of the left thigh. Maybe we straighten that left leg, get a little bit of an IT band stretch. We can look straight ahead or out to the left. Maybe we even close our eyes or soften our gaze here. Starting to release onto the mat beneath us. Coming back to your brain. And in our next few breaths, bringing our knees back to center. And then finding any other movement you need before you make your way into your final resting pose, Shavasana. Maybe that's another knees to chest, maybe a big hug, or maybe a nice big reach stretch. And then finding your variation of your resting pose and releasing. Finding that cleansing breath here, inhaling kindness and compassion. And exhaling anything that doesn't serve you. One more time, inhaling ease and peace. And exhaling all stress, tension, letting it go. And arriving now in the gentle embrace of your body. Feeling your breath warm you. Maybe allowing your breath to enter the back of your body and give your heart center a really big hug. Filling the spaces where you feel stuck. And just finding your breath here for a few more moments. Tethering your mind to this moment. And allowing thoughts to once again pass on by. Knowing that I will hold this virtual space for you until it's time to bring you back. Starting to bring yourself back to your body with a breath. Your body feels like it's ready for movement. I invite you to start with some small, gentle ones. Once again, reminding you we can stay here as long as you need to. Maybe we rock our head side to side again. Nice. We can start to expand those movements, rolling out our wrists and our ankles. And then again, once again, invite you to find any other movement you need to bring yourself back. Big reach, stretch, maybe a nice big hug again, knees to chest. Whatever your body is craving in this moment. And in the next few breaths, bending your knees, placing your feet on the mat, reaching your right or your left arm over your head and rolling over onto your right or your left side body. Pausing for a breath. And pressing into your palm and making your way up into seated lotus pose, however that looks for you. Beautiful. Taking one last breath together this evening in unison, inhaling our arms up to the sky, nice and slow. And exhaling down through heart center. Thank you once again for joining me this evening. The love and the light in me truly sees and honors the love and the light in each of you. Namaste.
Thanks, Laura.
Ladies.
Thanks, Laura. Have a good evening.